Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Doug. Good morning. So, Bella says good morning. She wanted she's been a little needy lately. She needs to be held. She likes the whole airlift kind of thing. So, how's everybody doing? So, it's been a good week. Oh, good morning, Gail. Gail's here this morning. So, what do we got going? Here, let's do this again. Let's start at the top. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Gail. Good morning. Um, I need to let people know, those that are on the one of the Facebook pages that I broadcast on is not letting comments come through. Still working on that. I don't want to not broadcast on that group or page, but um, I want to say good morning. Good morning to all of you who I may not see your comments. Uh, I'll let you know. I'm going to after the broadcast, after everything settles, I'll go back in and look for comments and reply to them in the group. Alrighty? Alrighty. So what are we going to talk about today? Um, I've been seeing several posts about how to handle and manage that silly pleat on the back of shirts. Sometimes you try to encourage your customers not to bring you a shirt or require a shirt that has one of those pleats because they're kind of fussy to deal with. But there may be a time that you don't have much choice. Cindy was asking if I've been practicing my cap hooping. Um, I do have to admit I need a little help with the unstructured caps. Cindy did a 4-part series, 5 parts, sorry, on just little short videos um, about hooping and the safety. You don't want to put anything under that needle. Um, but listen, if you want to see those, you need to go to Facebook, the Embroidery Nerd group. All right. The Embroidery Nerd, NERD group. Cindy, I want to talk to you about um, posting your videos on my YouTube. It's just a thought. Or encourage you to start your own YouTube channel. I'm going to put her back up in the window. Be right back. I have a window shelf that the cats and Bella like to sit up in. So, anyways, where are we? All right. Hello, hello. Been practicing my hooping. Barb says she's listening while gluing golf tees to a piece of pegboard for a drawer. Hey, I did that. Um, Good morning, Diane. Um, Golf tees. I actually had back years ago, and I think the picture is still floating around the internet someplace. I had one of those uh, those plastic 3-drawer paper storage things, and yeah, Cindy. And yeah, I used hot glue and placed golf tees in there, and it was the perfect size for the 1,000-meter cones. It was great. What is she saying here? Yeah, she forgot to mention that when you see people hold the cap down with their fingers while it's sewing, bad habit, very bad habit. Okay, so the pleat. We all know what that pleat's job is. They put the pleat in the back of shirts so that the shirt has a more fitted look on the sides. But when you bend over or you hunch your shoulders, it's got a little more give. That pleat just has a little bit more fabric to give a bit of give. Um, but sometimes you need to sew something over it. And how do you do that? What do you have to do in preparation for embroidery over a pleat? Well, get your iron out, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't have to be a full-size iron. A little craft iron will do. But what you need to do first is you need to press that pleat down so it's got some nice firm edges. Cindy, that's popped up. Cindy says she uses the yoke area instead of the pleat. That that would be okay, except what do you do with a design file that is larger than the yoke area? You have no choice but to go down into the pleat. So you still have to deal with the pleat. Okay, so what is the first thing I do? I press the pleat. I press the pleat so that it is straight. And if you have a pattern, a lot of these shirts are plaids or ginghams. A good quality shirt, when you press the pleat, the fold of the pleat is going to match the pattern in the shirt. And I'll show you what I mean. For this presentation today, I went to my local thrift shop, my local Salvation Army. I like supporting the Salvation Army as much as I can.
This
And
might answer your question. The Salvation Army is a Protestant Christian church.
Evidently, I triggered somebody to say something. Sorry about that. Um, oh, look, Cindy says she doesn't let them use a design larger than the yoke. She does a lot of cowboy sponsored shirts. I'll put logos on either side of the pleat, but not on the pleat. Okay. Well, just in case you get to the point where you can't do that, here's what I do. First thing I do is I press that pleat. And if it's a pattern, I match the line in my press work. Barb says she's moved the middle pleat and created two side pleats, but only if she has a few shirts to do and if it's approved by the customer. When you say when you say, Barb, that you move the pleat, are you saying that you unsew, you open up the shirt and reposition the pleats? And Cindy, you are not a mean embroidery lady. You just firm. Yeah, she's altering the structure of the shirt. Is that what you're saying, Barb? Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. That is that is a skill some of our new sewists don't have. In fact, a lot of our new sewists don't even know how to operate a sewing machine. That's a whole nother day. So okay. So I press the pleat. I press the pleat and then I pin it in place because I don't want it to spread apart. Now I can use pins or one of my favorite um, sewing room products is masking tape. I've been known to use masking tape to hold things in place, or the The straight pins. Yeah. You know what I didn't get? I did not get a picture of the shirts in hoop. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, here's what they look like live and in person. Yeah. Yep, that one's still pinned. This one is still saved. You know, it's still taped. Good point, Cindy. Some customers don't care if you sew across the pleat. They sure don't want to pay for the alterations. Yeah, that is so true. Sorry, dropped my shirt. Okay, so now that I have my pleat established and I have it pinned or secured, like I said, either uh, tape or straight pins to hold it in place. Oh, sorry about that. Straight pins or tape to hold it in place. I can now comfortably place my stabilizer and my hoop. I can use the yoke seam as a guide to keep it all straight. And then I can go to the machine and stitch out my embroidery. Now, and I did that. And maybe the design file, and I just used one that I've been digitizing for a client, made a couple of alterations to it. And it's probably not the best demonstration of a pleat. And I have to admit, I was in a hurry and I did not center correctly. So I'm sure you'll see lots of errors with this piece, but here it is. Okay, now here it is. So you see it's not centered. If it had been centered properly, this leaf area right here would have held this point of the pleat in place, just like it does over here. And of course, visually, it would be better centered. There's still enough of the pleat below, and this is a cotton shirt, so, and I did not press the whole thing out. There's still enough room under the design file that if whoever wears this shirt needs the extra fabric, there's still enough room under this pleat to give if needed. And I have to admit, I really kind of like this laurel pattern that I did. Um, but you see, you can stitch, you can secure the pleat in place and stitch over it. It did give me a chance for a good test stitch. Barr says that she thinks it comes down to a personal preference. Um, she thinks having the pleat hanging off the bottom looks funky. Okay, so you're right. It is a personal preference. And thank you, Cindy. I like that laurel. Yeah. Um, they're gonna do it in greens, but I when I do a test stitch out, I try to use contrasting thread colors because I know when you take a picture, it doesn't always show. Um, but it is personal preference. How do you want to deal with the pleat? Do you want to deal with the pleat? Do you want to put it out there that customer supplied garments should, uh, well, you have to establish that with your customer. Um, no pleats, or uh, there was another situation this week in group where somebody had not cleared the arm of their embroidery machine and they wound up stitching together a shirt, and her question was, should I replace this, or what, should I just give it up? Um, no. Let's go back to here. Diane asked if the stitching catches on the fold. I did not have that issue. And um, that is because if you watch the machine stitch, the foot, unlike a sewing machine where the foot actually rides on the fabric, it rides on the fabric, right? Which will push the fabric, and possibly, and because it has two prongs, it will catch that any raised area. Your embroidery foot raises and moves forward. It does have a slight push. That's where the push and pull happens, but it pushes forward, raises, and comes back. So, all on the timing, it should not catch the pleat. And remember, we have secured this so that it is flat and it stays flat while it's in the hoop. If you are concerned that it's going to catch that pleat as it's stitching, use a topper. Just place a topper in there. Or, and you can do this, I've been known to leave the masking tape in place. It tears away cleanly. There's no bits. It works really well. Cindy says, going back to the pleats, Cindy says that she recommends to her customers to use a different shirt or another location for the logo. Remember, Cindy was the mean embroidery lady who does not stitch on the pleat area. And Barb agrees. She says, Cindy, she does the same thing. Some customers want a certain shirt that has a pleat. You're welcome, Diane. I have a pleat story for you. I have a pleat story. Um, I have a client, a customer who brings garments to me, and they are specialty garments. They are garments. They are shirts that we do multi-placement design files that represent the group, and they use these shirts to raffle these shirts off as a fundraiser for their group. They do a lot of community service. One of their biggest ones that's my personal favorite is during the holiday times, they adopt a kid for the holidays, and they raise funds for the local food pantries, and that's an all year function. And Toys for Tots at the holidays. And one of the things that they do to help raise this money is they raffle off a shirt. And this shirt has all kinds of embroidery on it. This is terrible. This also rings back into the made an error with the shirt and who pays for it. Um, the this one that I'm talking about specifically was a limited edition shirt, specific brand, very popular brand, um, limited edition shirt that was no longer available anywhere. Um, and they wanted something on the pleat. All right. So just like this, I stitched their design file on the pleat, but I did not secure the pleat correctly. That was back when I was, when I was first having to deal with pleats. So it was wonky. And of course, we all know that trying to pick out embroidery is like next to impossible. So I went on the internet and did a search. I found a replacement shirt, new in package, the right size, the right colorway, the right limited edition in Australia for about twice retail. So that was my mistake. I made it right. Lost money on that deal, but that's all part of doing business. But learned a big and valuable lesson regarding pleats. Secure your pleat. You can stitch over it, but secure it in place. Let's see, what does Cindy say? I know that, Barb, I can alter a garment. I know that Barb and I can alter garments. But if you're running 25 or more, you don't want to have to remake the shirt. There's just no time. And you're absolutely right, Cindy. You are absolutely right. So that's where you, the operator, the service provider, have a conversation with your customer. You map out your game plan for that particular garment. You inspect the garment, you talk about the garment, you talk about where placement is going to be, and then you make a decision where you're going to put things and how you're going to handle things. And if they're bringing in the garment and you are concerned about a particular placement, you need to make them aware of what can and cannot happen. And exactly, I remember when that happened. I have replaced a few things, but I can't afford to replace customer items. I tell them that up front. See, and I'm of the same agreement. That's why you're going to do this whole planning and your whole structure, and you're going to make them aware of possibilities and make sure that they understand that you're going to make every effort not to have that happen. But if it does, you are not going to be financially responsible. In this particular case, with my limited edition shirt, it was totally my fault. It was my fault. Um, I did not secure the pleat correctly, and it was a nasty mess. It was bad. So I took it upon myself to find another shirt. I had time to do that, so um, I had like a month, so I had plenty of time. But again, this particular presentation today is to assure you that yes, you can stitch across the pleat. You just need to make sure that it's in place and that it's correct. Um, don't be afraid to use an iron and press it out. Get some nice sharp edges. Let's see. And I've been in that position too, Cindy. If it's an item that you order from a regular vendor, sometimes I will replace. And here's another one. This is again happened a few years ago. She brings me a jacket, and she wanted me to stitch on the cuff area of the jacket, and I stitched it upside down. So again, and remember I said this was back, and we all make mistakes. But I went again searching. Uh, if you know how to do it, you can look. There's an RN number on every garment, and you can search by that RN number, and lots of times you'll find what you're looking for. All right. So, people, that's what we got today. Do you have any questions about stitching on pleats? Okay. So, I had some big news this week. Let me take a moment and share it with you. Been there, done that. Get the ripper out if possible. Yeah, Cindy, that um, I use my little peg stitch eraser. It wasn't good. You're welcome, Diane. Um, so as most of you know, I've been on a quest to be able to cut out embroidered patches from the fabric after they've been stitched. And I've had yeah, Barb's been there too. Um, so I've been working on this project. I've been cut them out with a laser engraver cutting machine. Okay, so I got the laser engraver. Um, been working with the tech support to get the software to tweak out and figure out if it's the software or if it's me or how it can be done. And finally, I just realized that It is all in the software, and I have no control over that. And I'm not one that's willing to wait until they fix something, which could be, never. So I'm looking for alternatives. Now, I already have this laser. I don't want to get rid of it. I'm very comfortable with it. I love it. Um, I know, almost, Cindy, almost. Cindy's looking for my samples. Somebody wants to come out of the window. Come on. Yeah. So I'm looking for what to do. I decided that my particular laser does not have a camera in it. So I decided to add a camera. And I've been working with the camera software. Um, and this week, my camera does not have a permanent position yet. So that's what I'm working on this week. But this last week, as I'm working on this, and I'm setting up the camera and getting it to work properly, I cut out exactly where I indicated on the screen where to cut. I hadn't had that before. I hadn't I hadn't had that before. I have that now. At least on paper. I used I was at one point I was stitching patches to run through the laser, and I can't yards of fabric and thread and stabilizer. So this time around, I made paper prints and used that, um, and it worked. It worked. I am so happy it worked. Look at, she's going to sleep now. That's how she likes to sleep, with her nose in my hand. So here's what I'm doing. Hopefully today I will get a lot of it done. I am going to mount the camera in a permanent position. I know, Barb, I am so amazed. Oh, all right, all right. I'm going to mount the camera in a permanent position so that I don't have to recalibrate every time I go to use it. Um, so that requires some uh, engineering, just minor engineering, but just some mechanicals. Um, so that's what I'm hoping to work on today. As soon as, and then once I have the camera mounted, I'll do some more testing and do some more uh, stitch outs. And fingers crossed, people, next week this time, we will have a video of the whole process. Not, I want to show people how I want to show people what I did to make this happen. Because there are other people out there with this same laser that are asking these same questions. So that's what I'm going to do. So Cindy said that she saw Joanne's coupon come through this morning. Everybody check your phones. Uh, we can all use a decent coupon from Joanne's. Diane, I can hardly wait too. I'm so excited. And with that, people, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to let you get back to your weekend. I have a laser to go modify. Yeah, I know it's going to void the warranty. Well, the thing works really nice. Um, I don't anticipate having any problems with it that would be warranty issue, and that warranty is about half over anyways. So I'm going to go modify my laser so that I can mount a camera in a laser that did not come with a camera. Wish me luck. Wasn't that fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.